con nữa hôm nay nè để tôi chuyện có đó tôi chia lại ok mà cho nên nó bé một sai là nó phải chơi luôn đó nằm nên giờ chỉ tao là bây giờ chạy cho tụi đây là một đợt bớt trả nữa cho nên bé một sai bây giờ là cũng to bé cho lợi tới mà cô chỉ tao cho mình nhận tôi đi cho đi thì rồi nói cho mình nhận tôi đang có ship tao tụi đây nè cái hạt đã bé một số sai thì để cho mình cái này cái chuyện nó rong không giàu đi hôm nay đã được trong luôn họ theo nữa nè chia hết lo cho lúc số rồi số thay tao đi lên nữa đây là chuyện mà trả yên nữa đây là chuyện nào trong cái luôn cái chuyện bị cả nó cho bạn chuyện nào mà chắc là ít là bé chơi một đợt bé chơi chuyện nào nó bé chơi mình chỉ đợt một bên nó họ nói chơi luôn có chơi là một chơi đợt bé sai đây là chuyện nào mình chỉ xin thì bé chơi một đợt bé chơi chuyện xe bên nó còn ta bây giờ tôi bên nó tôi là đó thì họ chỉ tao thay thế thì biết nào muốn là mà đi về nhà nó để sáng theo bây giờ tôi cho là bé sẽ là sáng đi tới nó tapi tu nak nampak lah, tapi longgar dia, nak nampak tu macam mana? Tu mungkin macam, bintang Chicago nama law tu dah tu belum.
Lagi apa? Lagi kita terbuat kan?
Because they are not, when people hear lakes, they think it's this docile thing, and I can tell you, I grew up on Lake Michigan my entire life. It is far from docile. Now, on the horizon there, we've got these two structures that look like carnival tents. Those are called water cribs. They're protective walls for our water filters. So that's our water intake. That's where they take in our drinking water, and they pump it 200 feet below the ground to that single-story building right over there, the red brick building. That's the Jardine Water Filtration Plant. It serves 3 million Chicagoans and 110 neighboring communities. So the way it works is that the farther you get away from Chicago, the more expensive your water is. So if you live in a far southwest suburb, like the suburb of Aurora, you are drinking liquid gold at that point in time. Now, let's talk a little bit about architecture. This black building with the flat roof and the two white antennas, that is 875 North Michigan. A lot of people call it the John Hancock building because they don't realize the name quietly changed in the spring of 2018. It was completed in 1969. Skidmore, Owings, and Merrill are the architects. Bruce Graham is the lead architect. And it's important and noteworthy for a couple of reasons. It's the fifth tallest building in the city of Chicago. Completed in 1969, it was the first major skyscraper after World War II. And it was really the first major skyscraper after the Empire State Building. It was the first skyscraper to incorporate both commercial and residential, which is why it tapers. And then it has the X bracing for wind shearing. We've been using X bracing on bridges since the beginning of time for wind shearing, but this is the first skyscraper. And then in the south of 875, we've got a white building with a flat roof. That's Water Tower Place, vertical shopping mall, one of the first in the country. It's kind of famous. And it, in addition to having a mall, it also is a 5-star hotel, luxury condominiums, and the Broadway Playhouse. American Girl is the anchor store. To the north of 875, we've got the buildings with the spires. That's 900 North Michigan. It's also vertical. We've got Lincoln Park, home of the Lincoln Park Zoo, one of the few remaining 3 zoos left in America. It is open by appointment only. And then this whole neighborhood's called Streeterville. It got its name from a colorful Chicagoan, Captain Streeter. After the Civil War, he decided he wanted to operate a ferry boat from Chicago to Milwaukee. One day it got stuck on a sandbar about where 875 North Michigan is, and it started to amass land around it, which he dubbed its own region, and said that they didn't have to comply with any city or state laws. And he turned it into a real sin city. Gambling, prostitution, it was all happening there. On the banks of Lake Michigan were the mansions of the richest Chicagoans, and they didn't want to look at that. So obviously everybody wanted to get Streeter evicted. And every time the cops showed up, he greeted them with 2 things. A fake letter from Grover Cleveland saying he had the right to be there, and a shotgun. They finally got him on the same thing they got Al Capone on, tax evasion. But because this is some of the highest rent property in the city of Chicago, his family continued to sue well into the 1950s for the property. And with that, as I promised, we're at the south end of the harbor. I'm going to put the mic down. I'm going to pick it up when we get down by what's known as the museum campus.
Ah, where's that? Where's that?
Tapi masyadana jadi sampai rasa kenal lah. Sampai rasa tu kita. Sampai osipa di mana seperti mai jadi waktu dia datang itu sampai tahu osipa di mana. Tengok. Kau benci kau na. Kau tak terlalu kau nak saya.
They came along and they offered a way for the building to stay afloat. It's just the tip of the iceberg. By renting 3 floors in exchange for the naming rights. So they rent 3 floors. They don't own the building. They're not the principal tenant. The principal tenant is United Airlines with 25% of the building. Now United Airlines renegotiated their lease and they have a naming rights option. So when Willis's lease is up, it could become United Tower, which is better because it is Chicago's hometown airline. I mean, either way, my heart will go on. Oh yes, it's all coming back to me now. It's called the Willis Tower. That is the official name of the building. However, the patient river. They've been inspiring mediocrity since at least 1893. All right, ladies and gentlemen, most of the tour on the river portion is going to take place on the right-hand side. So we're going to start with a building with the curving black glass curtain wall. That's Lake Point Tower condominiums, completed in 1968. The architects are Shipwright and Heinrich. First and foremost, if you go to Navy Pier, go there to get your cab or your Uber. You're going to save $5 on the City of Chicago Entertainment surcharge. There's a rumor that Oprah Winfrey used to live in that building. She never lived there. If you look up, there's a disc-shaped portion of the building. That is a French restaurant called Cité. It does not rotate, but you get great views of the Cité. Now, the city of Chicago, your alderman, which is like a city council person, has sole approval of any development in their ward. And the alderman wouldn't approve it because he thought the buildings were too tall, and he objected to the hotel. So related to last reached the point where they had to get approval so they could break ground or they would lose their funds. 2020. On March 11th, 2021, I read that the project's been approved by the city. However, we don't know what the status of related Midwest funding is now, which is all influenced into how the Chicago machine works. This brown structure right here, it's a fountain. It's called Centennial Fountain, built to celebrate 100 years of the formation of the pyramid in there, and there's a spigot every hour on the hour for 5 minutes that spits out an arch of water. Winners, and you know if anyone who went to school there, they will probably let you know that it's where fun goes to die. Now, you got on the boat at the base of the Wrigley Building, completed in 1921. Graham Anderson, Probst and White are the architects, and it's in a style that's known as Beaux Arts. So it's got the decorative base, stacked the floors, decorative top. It's got 6 different shades of glazed white terracotta, which some people say was inspired by sticks of chewing gum, because it was the home to Wrigley Chewing Gum Company. Other people say it was inspired for $255 million. It must be nice. Now I'm going to go on the left-hand side, across from the Wrigley Building. We've got the London Guarantee and Accident Building, completed in 1923. It's the second tallest building in the city of Chicago, third tallest in the United States of America. It is 1,362 feet tall with the spire. The architects are Skidmore, Owings,